Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Of course, is the Gamer Spent back again, basically with another trail video. I did stuff here lately. Basically, just finished off a little bit of Battle Royale and so on and so forth. And also working on, what the heck is that? It's a pirate. What? It's a pirate something with a little pirate hat. Looks kind of funny. Anyway, regards to that, like I said, how is everybody doing today? Hopefully, everybody's doing great. Of course, basically getting troves and stuff like that, and basically trying to get one good stream out of this game today because it is giving a lot of issues. It's getting basically all the anomaly issues, which is kind of annoying. Basically, it's crashing almost every so often, and it's just like, ugh. And it's even worse today than what it was yesterday even. At least when it comes to it, I'm just trying to uh, get this to work right. Of course. All right, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go back to Uber 11, of course, and I'm going to try to get some more gem dust and get some more boxes, get all that stuff done. Like when you actually get into this game itself, and if you do play Trove itself, it's very easy. This game is actually very easy because it's all repetitive. Like, I mean, once you actually get your line done and get the mastery system going and stuff, basically all you do is collect. Like, I mean, it's, as I said before, but also easy would be Diablo 3. And this is basically almost like a Diablo 3 clone with a little bit of Minecraft added to it. And basically, also with the cartoon style and stuff like that, it's a lot easier, like I said, on the eyes to a point, and you don't have to worry about the goth and stuff like that. But of course, this is more popular than Diablo 3, but on PC, that's a different story. Now, I'm just trying to figure out why I got a leech chasing me, because I just seen a body floating right across me, and man, hi leech. High leech by leech. Here we go. Give me a second. There we go. Because you got nothing else better to do than just wait for you to go into a dungeon and just basically, and like I said, that's why I like teaching people. I love teaching people how to play this game because it just gets rid of these people that is so lazy. Yeah, it just annoys me that you know, is that just laziness? They're misinformed or just doing whatever, or just don't do enough damage. Like, I mean, like I said, this game is very, very easy to do. But it's all good. Like I said, I'm not complaining that someone else with me. If they're in a party, they're communicating, they're doing that. Like I said, I don't mind people stick with me all day. That's not the problem. Is the problem is when you actually try to do something, they're hopping in, sitting with the like the 5 stars. You're doing a 5 star, they're over on one corner, you're over on the other corner. You're trying to actually do the 5 star, and they show up just to try to get the cores, to try to get their gear up, which is not a problem. The biggest problem is with that then is trying to, like I said, they'll basically try to stick with you. Then once you once you basically notify them, in most cases that you spot them, you see them, basically they'll run off in the opposite direction. But if you don't, they'll basically just stay there forever. I noticed that before too. It's just like ache, and you got to try to handle that as much as you possibly can. But like I said, this is why I like teaching people. If I teach people, people actually follow, like I said, follow my channel and stuff like that, and follow my YouTube channel. Uh, Basically, you don't have to do that. Like, I mean, this game is so simple. Like, you don't need to do that. Like, I mean, think of it this way, as I mentioned before about grinding and stuff in this game. Basically, what you want to do, the easiest way of doing it, is if you're stuck within a level, And if you need a level or EXP, you just drop one level below your current level. That means, or staying within a certain level of your character. You can do either or. Like I said, if you're got enough PR to do, just say Uber 5, but you don't have the DPS to do Uber 5. So you do drop down to Uber 4 to get your gems and stuff up and do it that way. Like if I'm actually chatting with them and stuff like that, I usually give them like 50 boxes per area and basically help them get their first stellars and stuff like that. And now that's just me helping itself, you know. But that's not, someone is not leeching off me at that point, because we do have I do have a structured system where you basically stay in the same room as me, basically, like even with 5 stars. If you're staying in the same room as me, you're basically following me in that direction. Even because, and if you're shooting at things and not just sitting there waiting for me to finish, basically you'll benefit, because it's one of those things. And if, like I said, with 50 boxes, you should at least get a stellar or two, or even get a chance of getting a crystalline, and basically to help you out that way. But besides that, like I said, for someone else just to be there sitting on top of a building or anything, this is exactly what I hate the most, because, like I said, it's just, they don't want to play the game. They install the game. They basically download it for what? Like, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, if you're bored, lazy, or anything like that, just switch to a different game so you can be more active, be more productive, and so on and so forth. Or just basically watch, like I said, watch videos and stuff like that, so you can learn how to play the game, because there's always something to do. It's like Minecraft when you got people there just basically sitting around doing nothing, and they said, "Oh man, I'm bored." Yeah, you will be bored if you're not doing anything, and that's just it. It's just one of those things. Like I said, as I mentioned before, when it comes to certain things, like it pretty much it's the redundancy of what people do in these games. It's like, I mean, there's not one game that's complicated to me. I always look for ways of going around it. Like I said, I've been gaming for a lot of years. And like I said, racing games is another thing. I look for loopholes into it, like into the tracks. Like, I mean, EA is very famous for it. Like, I mean, if you watched my racing video yesterday, you'll see one of the loopholes to make very easy money for a very low level. And you can keep on doing that and basically make it occur. I've got what was it, a Lamborghini there yesterday, unlocked that, and so on and so forth, during the stream. And that's exactly what I did. So I made enough money just to gain that. Now, it's not the super fast car. Like I said, the stats and stuff on those cars are just basically messed up, because you would think the classic cars, like a lot of them, will actually have more horsepower. But no, they actually basically screwed that completely up as well with the game, because they gave some of the smaller cars, not like I said, more horsepower and more strength when it comes to speed than what they get with the sports cars, which is weird, because sports cars usually got a lot more horsepower to a point. They're also, in most cases, a lot lighter. So they're made of wood fiberglass and stuff like that. So, you know, all the physics, you know, but the physics doesn't work in those games. It's just like, no, it's not going to work because of that reason, you know. And like, I mean, the physics go right out the door when it comes to that. And I don't know why EA does that. They do that with a lot of their racing games. And yes, I'm talking about a racing game when I'm playing Trove. But I'm just saying, their physics just doesn't work. Like, whatever you think, and whatever you know about like vehicles and stuff like that, it goes right out the window. It's like it means nothing. Like, if you've got a Gallardo, and it's supposed to be, like I said, a real fast car, yes, one of the world's fastest cars to be exact. But the only thing is, when it comes to the street racing thing, it's not the fastest car, but in that game itself, it's not so good. Like, I mean, as I said, yeah, your information just, yeah, it don't mean nothing. That's why I say it's unrealistic when it comes to that. I don't know why they do that. They try to make you think of what it's not, and when you build up the curves and stuff like that, yeah. But anyway, regardless of that, enough about racing, of course. Right now, I'm actually just doing the grind, of course, of the troveness, and basically trying to get as many boxes as possibly I can get right now. I'm trying to get about 200 boxes, so I can get more cores, and then once I get some more night lives, I'll be able to use the night lives and basically do it that way. So I can actually be able to do my Solarian, finish that up, and basically start using that in the delves, of course. So I can have a lot more DPS and be able to have a more usable, friendly character to do so. So anyway, regardless of that, like I said, besides grinding these gems and stuff, once again, I'm just trying to basically try to get my Solarian done and try to get everything set so I can just go pop, 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 and it'll be done. Because, like I said, after you get your first grinder character, basically after your first grinding character, you basically end up just doing what I'm doing. Like, I mean, you just grind for everything else that in between, and so on and so forth. And like, I mean, you can constantly grind this. This is not a problem. Now I've got a leech on me. Hello leeches, hello leeches. I don't know why they're on me. As I said before, I don't get it. They're at end game. Why? Hello leeches. Hi leeches. How you doing? I see you on the map. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting there on the top. This is what I was saying. I'm away from the dungeon right now. There's still two still stuck at the dungeon. And oh boy. I'm sorry for being quiet here for a second. Yep, that's pretty much what happens. Like if you want to follow me that much and do it that way, and I'm not being rude to people, it's just very annoying when that happens. Because this game is so easy, I don't know why people do it. I really don't. Like, I mean, that's not, like, I mean, I'd rather direct them to these channels because it's information that they can actually use and learn how to do things. But it's what it is, you know? And it seems like I'm being harsh to people, but I'm not. Like, I mean, it stops them from basically trying to depending on other people, especially when you don't have to. Like, I mean, I never once depended on a person in here. I done everything, like I said, I do stuff as slow as possible, but I still gained. Like, I mean, I still gained gem dust, I still gained all that stuff. But like I said, if you're in Uber 11, you're still chasing people and you don't do enough damage, just basically learn how to play the game and be able to do it that way. Instead of basically chasing people. It just doesn't work. And it doesn't help you either, because like I said, if you're just basically doing it that way. Now, if you're basically in a party with me and you communicate with me and you know exactly what to do, like you don't have to know exactly what to do. I'll basically mention what to do, and you'll basically benefit from it. But like I said, if you're just chasing me around the map and you try to benefit something from it, you're not learning nothing. You're basically you're just being a bot. Is what you're doing. And of course, being a bot itself, all you're doing is just basically trying to use other people for their work that they did in the game as well. So, like, I mean, it's what it is. That's why I'd rather do the work, do videos, teach. And like I said, that's a big, huge difference. And plus, then I can do it on the mass instead of having just one person there following me or two people, three people. Because in Trove, the more people you got following you, the more chances of the game crashing and stuff like that too. Because you got to remember, Trove is very unstable game itself. It's bad enough, but when it comes to, like I said, you got those people that is just constantly following you and causing. See, it's all to do with basically the load on the server. Also, and also to deal with the area on the server as well. Like, I mean, like I said, at the very beginning of this game. I remember I used to have like 15 people on me constantly because I was in the 8th spot of the Shadow Hunter. I'm still in 11th right now, but I was in 8th spot of the Shadow Hunter. And what happened is, when I was actually there, I used to have so many people just following me, and I used to have people using the Rattly Blade. I used to have someone. This is why I digress of people just following me. Now I have, if it's only one person during the chat room, they're basically following. Like I said, and getting the help that you need, like I said, to a certain point. Like I'll do 50 boxes and say, hey, here you go. There's a little bit of a hand with something. If you do get like 2 crystalline or 2 stellars or something like that, well, you can fill your slots with 50 boxes. But what you do is just basically don't open up your boxes until you get enough of them in your inventory, because you don't want to waste your time to do it that way. And be able to actually utilize that, because there is a glitch in the game that it will actually give you more of a better chance of doing that. Now, some people actually open up as they go straight through the dungeons, and they be thinking, oh, I'm going to get ahead or be able to get more. But in most cases, no, that don't happen. So, like I said, this is when you see me open up a bunch of boxes, and the reason why I do that, because if I'm looking for crystalline, I'm not going to open up just one box. Or 2 boxes, or 3 boxes, or 4 boxes. I'm going to open 40 or 50 boxes. Then I'm going to open up another 40 or 50 boxes. Then I'm going to open another 45. I'll keep on repeating the same process so I can actually be able to do that. And like I said, I would love to be able to have more people and more of people, like I said, just to help out and so on and so forth. So, like I said, I'm there to teach how to play Trove. I'm not there to basically to hold people's hand because I've got lots of things to be doing. Like I said, right now, if you are in Uber 11, you don't do enough damage. That means your stats are off, or you have too much HP to your character, especially if you're a damage dealing character, and so on and so forth. So there is stats that you can actually fix by actually rolling your gems and stuff. This is what my YouTube channel will teach you, and so on and so forth. So there is a lot of information out there. And there's a lot of information on my YouTube channel that will actually help you. Like, I mean, I turned around and done all the research for you so you don't have to do it at. So basically, you'll never be stuck in Trove. If you are stuck in Trove, or you're basically needing that information, you'll learn it, you play it, basically you enjoy it. And that's exactly what I do. Like, I mean, this is something I do a lot of, basically try to help out other people. Because there's a lot of, let's say, younger players, and there's also some of the mid-range players, like some people that's like just getting into these type of games and don't understand how to play them. Like, I mean, these type of games are very easy. Like, all MMOs or MMORPGs are very easy. All RPGs are easy to a point too. Like, if you're playing like Final Fantasy and stuff like that, they're all easy. Basically, you just get to know where certain locations of things are, and what type of code, if you need a code to open up something, whatever the case may be, or if you need to be able to have musical notes, and so on and so forth. You do all the research. Like I said, you do the research as you play the game, or just before you start playing the game, you can get all the research. Depends on how good your memory is, and so on and so forth. And you'll be able to go straight through them. Like, I mean, there is nothing hard about a RPG. There's nothing hard about MMOs. MMOs has been around for almost forever. They've been started back in the 90s. Like, I mean, one of the very first MMOs I started playing, like, I mean, to that point was Phantasy Star back in 1999. Now, I played another one back in 98, but of course, it used to lag a little bit, and so on and so forth. Like, I mean, but they go back that far. Like, I mean, they go back a lot of years, and people don't realize when you're actually picking up a game, all the games are exactly the same. You just got to know the mechanics of the system, the mechanics of the game. And once you get through the mechanics itself, like, I mean, it's not super hard. Like, I mean, what's so hard of doing what I'm doing right now? There's nothing. Like, I mean, the thing is, when it comes to statting and stuff like that, yeah, it's a little bit complicated for some people. But what I normally do is just trying to break it down so basically people can actually get that stat and get that to work. Well, same thing as Minecraft. What's so hard about Minecraft? Well, learn how to build. That is what's so hard about it. Like, learn how to make stuff like automated. I know how to make stuff automated without using redstone. Some people actually die-hard redstone fans. I know how to do it with everything without redstone. But that doesn't make me a novice. That just means I can actually use and utilize everything in the game without basically lagging the map or causing issues. And I know basically using a lot of redstone in certain areas or in the player area, like with all your major buildings and stuff do, it does cause a lot of lag. And it's been like that since day one. Like, I mean, I look at all the stuff that's in the game and work with the mechanics inside the game. And I love working with the mechanics. Like, I mean, I like to breaking the games down so I can actually be able to make something out of it. So let's think of it this way. If it's a repeat of the same process and it's exactly the same thing over and over, that repeating process will be same thing over and over. Like, all games are made equally the same. Like, if you're playing like, to see if you're playing Pokemon, you got to go and collect them or whatever the case may be. As long as you don't fall off a cliff, you're doing good. But, I mean, besides that, when it comes to, like I said, all it does, you just basically collect the best stuff in the game, and basically you just level it, and you just basically finish the game. Once you finish with the game, like I said, there's a couple of things that you could probably do inside on the side, be able to. And look, I mean, this is what games are. This is what games are, and always will be. Like, I mean, as I said before, I played every single genre, and I ace every single genre that I do play. Now, it might take me a minute or two just to say, okay, I need to be able to learn. Okay, what is the subsystem that I need to work with? Do I need to work with a multi-menu, or do I need to work with a single menu? Do I need to work with, like I said, a crafting system that looks like it's ill of a caveman? Or do I need to work with a crafting system that looks a little bit more futuristic and has a little bit more style to it? And that's the only thing I have problem with sometimes, because I'm looking at like the way it's laid out and what I need to do actually to progress in the game. And you gotta remember, when you actually become a gamer and a true gamer, and being like I said, and getting right into it, like I said, you start learning little bits, and all those little bits basically will add up. You remember probably in the last, say, uh, basically 20 years, games never changed. Absolutely didn't. All he did is basically reskin some stuff or add some new mechanics to it. I mean, very small mechanics, but he still had new mechanics to it to where one mechanic could be doing just with damage or how you get the damages up. There'll be something else to basically, or how to collect like a certain resource. They might have changed that. Like if you played No Man's Sky, for instance, that's another kind of like Minecraft type of game to a point. It's just set in space. What's the difference between that game and basically Minecraft? Almost nothing, because you got to go and collect and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of clones made of other games, and that's what I'm saying is if you get used to playing one game, you can cover about 50 games, and it's crazy because you mightn't think it that way, but that's exactly how it works. And like I mean, that's why I like playing Trove and stuff like that, just because, like I said, I know what's there, I know what's available, and I know how to play it. But on the other hand, it's like how you play it and what you get from playing it that makes a difference. Like I mean, it's all to do with experience, and it's not the experience of saying, "Oh, I'm better than you." Is the experience of, okay, let's work on something. Let's work on just basically learning the mechanics. Let's work on basically how to go grinding. Let's work on a bunch of things. And this is what I like about MMOs, because of the fact that there is so much information out there on them, and there's so much of the same information over and over and over and over, repeating themselves so much. You got to remember, I started playing games and stuff like that when I was on, like I said, one of the older systems. Now, a lot of people started, like I said, when they were 3 years old. Some people never started until they were 8. But I was a really, basically a really young kid playing like on the Atari 2600. I was looking at graphics that was squares. It was only squares and little tiny dots for bullets. It was nothing to the games. It was just like, it was horrible to a point. And I'm just glad some of you guys didn't witness that, but I would love, actually to a point, I wish you guys witnessed that, because then you'd be like, oh my God, this is so cool. And to see all the advancements, and like, I mean, it's just like one of those things that you can actually just pull out a box and be just there. And like, oh my, it's just the history behind gaming, like I said. See, gaming really never started back until 1982 to 1983. That's when gaming consoles and stuff like that came out, basically in a home. And that was the very first one. And the very first one, if I can remember the name of it, I do believe it was called Intellivision, with only a few games on it. It was like Pac-Man and a couple of things. You used to plug it into your AV jacks in the back of your old CRT TV. You sit down and start playing those. And it's crazy, because people would be like, "Oh my God, really?" Yes, it goes back that far. And like, I mean, people are like, "Oh man, we only had the PlayStation. We only had this and that." Oh, no, actually, it goes back. Back in 1999, 1997 to 2000, the Dreamcast was actually released. And there was a bunch of other systems released roughly around the same time. That's when PlayStation started showing up on the screen, on the scene with the PlayStation 1. That basically they were going to try to work with Nintendo at some point to make a console for that. Like I said, I'm part of that history. I'm glad I'm part of that history because that's why I can actually share as much information as I do. That doesn't mean I know everything about every single game. Don't get me wrong, because there is certain things in the game itself that I've got take a minute to sit back and start learning it. But I will say this: when it comes to like having all these consoles, all this classic stuff and whatever, and you look at exactly what's available now compared to what used to be, you will actually be floored of exactly the peripheral information you can get, even from the basic cube. Even from the basic cube that shoot them little tiny dots. Like I said, it was a little tiny glitch or a little tiny thing. You ever watched the movie Ready Player One? If you ever watched the movie The Ready Player One, you will see a lot of the classics, a lot of the stuff that's out there, and you will actually be floored of how much games and stuff like that. That movie is part of gaming history. It's got just more than Minecraft and stuff that when it first comes on the loading screen and stuff like that. It has like Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was a great huge one. Donkey Kong was actually the very first Mario game actually created. It was created back in 1984, 1985. Then he actually came with Galaga. He came up with Centipede. Then it became Millipede because he actually changed the name for international and stuff like that. They actually made a lot of different games coming out straight through. So basically, for me, I'm just glad I'm part of that history. Now it makes me sound old, but I'm not that old. I just the life experiences of the games that people do play even now. And I'm looking at all the advancements. Like, I mean, that's why I said I digress a way some people play because I know there's a better way of playing. I know people basically try to advance and try to get ahead, but they're not going to get themselves ahead that much if they're playing the way they are. And I'm not saying I'm telling people what to do, but I'm trying to give them the helping hand to try to help them better with gaming. So when they say if you've got like somebody that's really extremely young, they say, okay, you've got probably an 8-year-old or 10-year-old just basically playing Trove, and you'll be like, oh, I'm just going to play this. And then they don't understand something. That's fine. That's going to happen. That's inevitable. You cannot change that because, of course, they're not going to be concentrating as much. So they go back to Fortnite or something like that. That doesn't really take skill. It just basically do whatever. Like, I mean, there's nothing in this world right now that actually takes a lot of skill or a lot of thinking power to a point. It's just the systems and stuff like that you can get used to and make something work. And this is something that people don't realize. People don't really extremely realize because when I'm actually doing streams and stuff like that, people are like, nah, you don't know what he's talking about. Then they start using my information and stuff. Oh my God, this actually work. And it does work. It works as well as you want it to. Like, I mean, you don't have to use the information. You don't have to do nothing. I really don't care about that. But what I care about the most is trying to get people educated. Just if you are a true gamer and you want to be a true gamer when you grow up or grow old or do whatever, do what you love to do. Like, I mean, I love streaming, I love gaming, I love all that stuff. And I will tell you this right now. Like, I mean, with everything all combined, you see me playing certain games just because, I enjoy playing them. Like, I mean, I can go play Diablo 3, which is, like I said, a lot more complicated system if you don't know how to play it because you'll basically do zero with the game. And I mean zero with the game. Like, I mean, I've seen people coming in, try to use mods, hacks, and stuff like that, try to pretend they're number one. And I'm after coming up with my builds, and they'd be like, oh, That's how you play it. Yeah, that's exactly how you play it. And I've been, like I said, playing that for years as well. Like, I mean, I played the very first games that actually rolled in on the scene. And there's not too many of us left in the world to basically teach you guys how to play games. Because the thing is, as each generation, there's a lot of information lost. And plus, as I said before, there's absolutely no books. There's no nothing in this generation. Like, as you notice, like I said, if you look at all the old consoles, they had at least an instruction manual, how to do, like I say, the button presses and stuff. You look at all the games out there now, those those little booklets that used to come with the games is no longer available. It's gone. And like I said, that's what you got to deal with. You got to deal with what's missing. You got to deal with what information that's missing. Like, I mean, if you don't know how to play the game, you don't know all these button presses and stuff like that, you will actually be lost. And reason why I'm actually saying this on here on playing Trove, just because Trove, like I said, it's easy. It's an easy game. It's not complicated. Like, I mean, it's not complicated to me. Now, like, I mean, it might be a little bit complicated to some, but I mean, it's going to happen. Like, I mean, in most cases, like, I mean, if you know how to play Trove, that means you can play Diablo, because they're similar games. Now, as I mentioned before, when I started playing this at the very beginning, I said, if you don't know how to play Trove, you're just starting off, go and play like a couple of hours of Diablo to learn how to basically do stats. And learn a few things about how those MMOs work. Because Diablo goes back in the 90s. The very first one would get released, I forget what date it was released, but it goes all the way back in the 90s. Now, the thing is, with information and what I'm giving out now, like I said, it's basically all about gaming history and where it's changed. A lot of stuff has not changed. It's just a player's mind. The player's mind base has changed. The game's never changed. It's just how people play the games. Like I said, some people try to take shortcuts. Some people like to be able to go along and do all this stuff. But I don't take shortcuts. I don't like taking shortcuts because I know I'm be missing something in the game. So let me rephrase. Let me say this. Okay, how many people goes back to the very beginning to get the mastery from all those little weapons and stuff? Not a lot of people, because they'll skip it. They'll absolutely skip that. How many people goes back and gets other things in the game itself that you would have missed right at the beginning, just because they're jumping ahead? I mean, jumping ahead, like, I mean, they're trying to get all the power rank, they're trying to get mastery, but they don't realize what they're leaving behind. I had to do the same thing. I had to go back and backtrack, because as you unlock characters and stuff like that and get more weapons, each one of them has a subset class weapons, and that helps out quite a bit too. But even some of the end gamers don't do that, or and never did that. Like, I mean, see, think of it this way: there's so much stuff in these type of games. Like, I mean, there's so much to benefit you. It's not even funny. And if you actually look at it, and what I'm saying to you is this: if you are going to benefit yourself in the long run, not saying you should never party with people, not saying you should be getting that stuff done, but you want to look at exactly how you need to get things done and how much efficiency you can be for you. Because once you get your efficiency done yourself, that means when you're partying with people or together with people, you'll be able to go along and help them and basically make a full circle of that. Some people just do not get that. They'd be like, oh, I'm going to go along and do this, 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 and this. And they'll actually miss the point. They'll miss the party point. Like, I mean, what a party actually means. A party does not mean you go basically sit down on top of a roof and do nothing. A party does not mean this basically doing all that stuff. No, that just makes a person lazy. That means a person just sitting down, or even jumping into a dungeon and watching a person just finish it, and you just hop down and try to gain the rewards. Like, I mean, yes, okay, fine. It's all cool, that you want to do that. But I'm just saying is the overall aspect of doing that, you're not benefiting yourself. Because think about it this way. If I'm actually in Uber 11 and you're in Uber 11, we're both grinding together. Fine. We're basically benefiting. But this same, if I log out, you just be looking for the next victim. You'd be just looking for the next person. Oh, I need to be able to follow this guy because I don't know what I'm doing. If you don't know what are you doing, just basically look at my YouTube channel or look at like I said, and basically follow that if you like to, and basically benefit yourself. Learn how to augment your gems. Like, I mean, I don't tell people how to play. I just help them do play. That's the difference. Like, I mean, when you first start the game, you got Uber 6. You're already a good part of the game. Now, until it makes it Uber 12, you're basically over halfway through the game. So, like, you got to think about it this way. Once you get to Uber 6, and you're like, okay, I still don't know what I'm doing. Well, basically, time you get to Uber 10 and 11, all you do is struggle and struggle and struggle. And the struggle just gets worse and worse and worse. It doesn't change because you do not gain anything from doing that. And that's what I'm getting at. It sounds like I said, I'm basically ranting here, but I'm just saying the fact of where games is and where people are into games. Like I said, games never changed. Like, I mean, the graphics changed or something else, but that's just it. Like, I mean, the mechanics are pretty much the same. Like, I mean, if you learn one game, you've got to add a bunch of games. Just think of it this way. Like Minecraft. How many clones of Minecraft can you name? Well, I can name like 3 main ones. One is called basically Gemcraft. It's kind of a knockoff. Terraria is another one. And I'm talking about the earlier versions. That's just 2. But there's many clones of Minecraft. So if you learn how to play Minecraft, how many more versions of that Minecraft are you going to play? And if you do, try them. Now, some of them are pretty crappy, and some of them are pretty good. But depends on what it is. Like Terraria basically is the same thing as Minecraft, but so you got to remember, both of them are released roughly about almost the same time frame. So, one game was just basically in development or basically ready to be developed at that point. And it's like, if it's, like I said, 2 or 3 years, like, I mean, if you're making a side-scrollers are a little bit easier to a point to code, but I mean, I can't see they're easier to code because you get to know a little bit of C++ or HTML or something like that or some type of coding. But on the other hand, like I said, when you look at the games itself, like, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, I mean, this is why I'm trying to help people out as much as I do, because I rather teach people now with the games that's out there. Because if you are a true gamer, even if you decide to go collect games and stuff like that later on, or do the same thing as I'm doing, like, I mean, I've got multiple consoles. I've got a lot of stuff that basically a lot of people don't have anymore. Because they sell off their console to buy another console and basically, or trade in the console, and actually lose a generation of that console. Like, I still got a PlayStation 3, I still got a PlayStation 4. I just don't use them that much anymore because I got a PlayStation 5. But when they come up with PlayStation 5 Pro, am I going to get rid of my PlayStation 5? I might just to get the trade up for the Pro, but am I going to sell it for PlayStation 6? No. I'm not going to do that. If they come up with a PlayStation 6, I'll just go along and get the PlayStation 6, keep the 5, and whatever the case may be, and just keep on and very vast, and that's exactly what you do. Now, if you can't afford that itself and whatnot, like I said, you don't have to. Like, I mean, if the only way to get a new console is trade in a bunch of consoles or anything like that, or basically just sell what you have, then you can actually go straight and do that. So anyway, I'm going to end my stream here before I get trolled again, because I got trolled already twice. And hopefully you guys have a great day. And like I said, hopefully we'll catch you on the next one, of course. And happy Trovian. And hopefully be able to see you once again on either one of my streams. Or basically, you can, like I said, check out my YouTube channel as well. And like I said, all the support going towards the channel itself is pretty much very appreciated. Of course, if you get any knowledge, if you get any questions or anything like that, you can also check on my Discord. And my Discord is Kevin12 7848. You can actually pick me up there and be able to chat with me at any time. If you've got any questions in games itself, you'll be able to actually be able to answer. I'll be able to answer those. Basically, to help you through. Like I said, I've got, like I said, a lot of knowledge, a lot of gaming experience. Like I said, I'm not just boasting that what I know, what I don't know, because I've got a lot of years learning this stuff. It's not something I just picked up and to say, oh, I'm basically a younger person saying, oh, I know all this information. Oh, I can Google that. A lot of the information that I know, you can't Google it anymore. It's gone. And that's the sad part about it. The books are gone, and information is just missing. And that's exactly the way I like sharing my information, just because of that reason. Because it's not available anymore. It's gone. It's like everything that used to be is no longer. And that's why I like to be able to do this, because for me, Twitch and YouTube is actually a memory for those true diehard gamers. Also, be able to actually use something for when I'm actually old, a very old person, and I can go back and say, okay, I watched my own self doing my own stream. I actually can try to bring back memories and stuff of when I'm actually used to do gaming and stuff like that. So it brings back good memories even for me. So it's not just for you guys, but it's for the whole entire whole. So, it's just what it is. It's a lot of fun too at the same time. So I'm going to say peace out for now, as I just did, and I'll probably catch you in the next one. Have a fun, guys, and enjoy, and do what you do. Peace out.